Well, good morning, Glue Troopers. Max and Max's Models here. I was just having my morning coffee and my mind began to wander, as it tends to do. And I was thinking about the very first kit model I ever painted. And I have some amazingly vivid recollections of it. It's probably about 8 years old. And it was the Hasegawa F5A Freedom Fighter. Now, it's actually the version done by AMT, and I remember this box art vividly. And the original kit came out from Hasegawa in '67, according to Scalemates. And I believe this would have been about 1970 that I was making it. And I didn't realize that they were South Vietnamese Air Force markings. I saw the star and thought, well, that looks like Air Force markings. I didn't realize the importance of the difference of the colors or the flag on the tail. But then again, it's 8 or 9 years old. And what happened was, this is the short story. My older brother, who was a very active model builder, had paint and things like that, and X-Acto knives and stuff that my parents are smart enough not to let me have. And he was willing to let me paint the model, and he actually instructed me through it. So we used three colors on it. They were the little bottle, Testors, enamels. That part I remember vividly. They were the little bottles. I believe they were Testors. They could have been Pactra. And that part I don't remember, but I do remember it was the little bottles. And first we put the gray on the belly, and he was like, okay, you've got to let that harden. And I don't think we actually primed it. And wait a minute, okay? Now I'm sitting here thinking, no, we painted the belly last. And you see, this is the problem with 50-year-plus-year-old memories. No, I think we did paint the top first, and I believe we put the beige color, the tan on it, and then we had to wait for that to harden. And, telling a 10-year-old to wait. So I also remember that when we were able to come back and put the green on it, and I'm not sure if we painted the whole top beige and then put the green on it, or if we actually painted the actual pattern in two different colors with as little overlap as possible. It's probably the way we did it. It's funny, the things I can remember, and the things I can't remember are absolute blank, and of course minor detail. But then I believe I do remember we had to go to dinner, and it's like, that's good, it'll give it a couple hours to dry. And I believe when we came back, I'm pretty sure we did the belly last. And by pretty sure, I mean that's the way my mind is telling me, but it could just be the Mandela effect. You tell yourself something so much you believe it's true. But I do remember it was this kit because I vividly remember the box art. But what was also really cool was, and I think one reason we picked this kit to do my first ever paint job, was because the bottom had a complete diagram of the color pattern. And I think I painted the patterns, yeah, and gosh, I just don't remember. But I think I did try to actually paint the pattern with just the edges touching. But anyway, whatever the case was, the next day all the paints had hardened. We were able to decal it, and I was just so proud of that thing. Of course, I don't know if I tried to paint the canopy rail, which would have been mercifully simple on this airplane, and I don't recall any other colors. It was probably made wheels up, and it was, those days I didn't even have stands to put them on. I would just put them on their belly on the shelf. I had a whole shelf covered with geared up airplanes, and it was just I was so excited that I finally painted a model. My gosh, I thought I was the ace of the base. Look at me, this is the greatest model Everest, greatest model Everest made. And I was so proud of myself. Quite a while before I painted one again, because as I told you guys, usually I didn't have money for paints. And that was just one of those things. It's the first model I ever painted, which brings a question. What was the first model you ever painted? Well, that was just a little morning going down memory road, of course. And back then, those days, we didn't take many photos because film was expensive and you had to pay for developing unless it was a Polaroid, in which case film was just really expensive. But, I really feel like our generation's the luckiest kids that ever lived. We had the modern conveniences and the coolest toys. You guys take care of yourselves. We'll talk at you later. And as always, model on.